There's a little house a few miles from a small town. Nestled between a long tin shed and a tall red barn is an old yet sturdy farmhouse. This structure is now well over 100 years old. But if a house could talk, the stories it would tell. It would tell of the scorching summer sun that chipped and faded the paint. It would tell of the drenching spring rainstorms that would turn the driveway in front of the house into a swamp. It would tell of the days before rural water was available, and how my grandparents would implement every rule they knew about water conservation just to keep the cistern full. Through the years, this house nurtured life. It saw windfalls and shortfalls, and yet it remains sturdy for generations. Today, this world is our home, and every day it observes the choices that we make. It sees the things that we do. And if we want to preserve this home and its natural resources, similar to the way that old farmhouse was preserved for my family, we must learn how and why to manage water for conservation. As we know, today we live, breathe, and survive based on our consumption of water. However, only 3% of the water on Earth's surface is fresh, 2/3 of that is locked away in ice caps and glaciers, and 1/5 is inaccessible. This means that the 0.8% of water that is available for human consumption demands to be managed carefully, so we can provide habitats for our animals, to reduce flooding, and to secure this source for the upcoming generations. So let's start by managing water for conservation to provide for South Dakota's livestock and wildlife. In the Badlands alone, there are estimated to be the species of 39 mammals, 9 reptiles, 6 amphibians, 206 birds, and 69 butterflies. On ranches across South Dakota, there are over 5 million head of cattle. South Dakota has also been named the #1 state for pheasant hunting, along with being the home of many other types of wild game. Water allows South Dakota to be a haven for so many different varieties of animals, not only by allowing them enough to drink, but by providing marshlands for local and migratory birds, and river homes for water-dwelling creatures. However, it is our responsibility to manage water so that these habitats can remain functional, and to dam water so that excessive runoff does not smother wildlife. But damming water is also important for another reason, and that is to reduce flooding, which is another reason why we should manage water for conservation. The Fort Randall Dam in Pickstown is a familiar location to all of us. This dam was established during the Flood Control Act in 1944 as a means to help reduce flooding along the Missouri River. The truth is, water levels are not always consistent. While we endure many droughts, we also have many seasons of abundant rainfall. Because of this, conservationists established dams to help in both times of surplus and of shortage. And this should be the greatest motivation for us to continue developing and implementing water conservation techniques to pass on to our future descendants. Which brings me to, let's manage water for conservation to provide this life-giving source to our upcoming descendants. According to a Huffington Post article released in 2014, world farmers are already producing enough food to provide for 20 billion people, the same number of inhabitants that are expected to be in existence by the year 2050. However, despite this exciting announcement, this will not be possible without enough water. And that is not a responsibility that is dependent on our heirs, but upon us. As the caretakers of this planet, it is in our job description to present the upcoming generation with a world just as beautiful as the one we know. Today, we are the innovators, the builders, the seekers, the spenders, and the keepers. And today, this is in our sometimes small, but always capable hands. What are we going to do? What are we going to leave to the beauty, the life, and the prosperity of the ones coming after us? And in the meantime, what will we teach them? Will we tell them about the Clean Water Act, established in 1972 to help keep water fresh? Will we teach them during Ag Ed about the importance of reducing groundwater pollution? And through our everyday household tasks, will we show them how to conserve water? I hope that we leave for our future generations, for the future inhabitants of our home, a beautiful place to live. I hope we leave clear evidence that we did not take our natural resources for granted. And I hope that someday our house can speak of the things we did right and our dedication to managing water for conservation and building an even brighter future. Thank you.